basic sound here. Let me put a little verb on here. No. Too much verb. Too much verb. Let's see. Don't want to do that. Let's see. I don't want to handle it now. I mean, I can just change this verb so it's not so insane. Valhalla Room. Yeah, I like Valhalla Room, but I really like Valhalla Plate and Vintage. Those are my two favorite reverbs of theirs. But all their stuff is phenomenal for $50. You can't beat it. Dark chambers. Let's see. Chamber, long chamber, rich chamber. Not bad. It's a nice sound. Actually, it's a really good reverb sound. Morning. But for guitar, I don't know. Got my telly out today. I watched that Rick Beato interview with Keith Urban. Made me want to get my telly out. What a nice guy. Self-deprecating. Not even self-deprecating. He wasn't. He just was like honest and real and didn't think he was all that in a bag of chips. You know, he really was like. He actually, there were some serious nuggets in there of wisdom. One of the things he said is like when he listens to his songs, he's never really satisfied. Like they could remix and remaster and keep going back and forth and keep doing it until he was happy. And he kind of just has to get it to a point where he accepts what the product. And he says though everybody hearing it hears the song for what it is, not for what it isn't. He hears the song for what it isn't, but everybody else gets the benefit of hearing the song for what it is. And I totally, you totally relate to that. I never really said it in those terms, but I thought it was brilliant. And it was a really good observation. He also said about guitars, like he has, he lost a whole lot of guitars. Like all his best vintage instruments were destroyed or damaged in the Nashville flood in 2010. And I had a lot of friends that lost a lot. Vince Gill lost a lot of guitars and stuff. It was really bad. In fact, I wonder, I have to look on a map and see where the flood was, like if there's a map of that, because I have a good friend that lives right down there. Well, not a good friend, a friend. If he was a good friend, I'd know how he did. Let's see, if I do Nashville 2010 flood map. See if I can just get a little diagram up. Okay, there's the. Is this it here? Oops. No, that's an old map, 1937. Yeah, here it is. Oh yeah, wow. So yeah, you can really see where it went down a lot of streets. See if I can make this big. Oops. No, I want to see this. View image. There we go. Okay, the Tennessee, the university. Where are all the studios? The studios are Cumberland Rising. Wow. The river rose more than 32 feet. Isn't that crazy? That's just amazing. And I mean, that's why insurance is, flood insurance is pretty high when you live on a river. It's like earthquake insurance is high here because they happen. Anyway, it was a really cool interview, and but the interesting thing was that like they had, because they were getting ready to record a record, and they brought all the guitars down and amps and everything down to the ground into the studio to be used, and all the stuff they don't ever use was still up high. So the things they got, like, oh, this is cool, but then they never really used it. They have all that stuff, but all the good stuff was literally floating in the studio. Okay. No worries, Holly. Good to see you. Bob, good to see you. 6'9", good to see you. Sam, good to see you. How's the weather in Michigan today? I just got a bunch of work sent my way, so I'm going to be I'm going to be having to not go too long today. I mean, I'm not going to stress it too much. I'm getting ahead up on it, but it's the music presents some challenges, and then I'm having to clean up the MIDI because the melody is in the accompaniment part, and I don't want to try to play those two together. He doesn't want me to. He wants me to separate them and get two different sounds. So the accompaniment, you know, is very specific, but then there's stuff on top is like, and it was like I was looking at it first going, this is going to be really kind of hard to master and sight read, and then I realized that somehow the melody track got put on the accompaniment track. So I'm kind of cleaning that up so that I can read it and see this is what it looks like. Well, that's the melody track. My printer, I don't know if my printer's starting to die, but it always does this little smudge on the first page I do. I should do a blank page to start, but yeah. I need to get another monitor. I like having paper though, so I can make notes and write names of chords and stuff like that. For me, it's a lot faster than trying to insert on a PDF on a screen. But if I had another monitor right here, see, I don't want my microphone here facing because this creates some weird sonics. I like to have space behind my microphone, on my acoustics anyway. Electric, usually when I'm playing electric, I will have a PDF on the screen. The only problem is I like to blow it up so I can read it, and then the problem is I can't scroll down and play at the same time. So that's a little difficult. But nice, perfect. Well, we're gonna actually high of 79 for Thursday, I think. I'm like, you're kidding. I mean, we maybe hit 100 once or twice this summer. It's been a very, very mild summer in my opinion, although I'll have a different opinion on that when I get my electric bill because I'm pretty sure the AC has been. In fact, I should probably turn the AC up. I'll do it later. I don't mind working and being hot in my studio. I kind of like it. Hey, Shook 9, what's going on? Dennis, thank you for being here. That's so weird. Yeah, you've had triple digits. That's weird. I'm so much further south than you, and we've hardly had any. And I'm not at the beach. We normally get 110 or something like that. You know, it's at least 2 or 3 or 4 weeks of that. But we haven't had any of that. So. Oh, nice. You were in China. Oh, my sister was just in Shanghai and Beijing. I think I tuned, but I'm going to tune again. It's always funny when I'm like playing and I'm hearing this weird, what's that fluttering? What's wrong with my system? And I realize the fan's on. The sound bouncing off the fan blades. I don't have any panels on my ceiling. I could do that at some point if I wanted to, but I've got the fan that really helps. But when I'm recording acoustic, I have to turn the fan off. So it does tend to get a little warm in here, but not bad. Okay, so I'm going to go backwards a little bit. I want to talk about some different skills because when we, the dream is to get to this groove here. To be able to do that kind of vibe, and the second one here. So that was the first one. The second one is. And all that one is, it sounds weird, although you really don't hear where one is. So you're probably hearing the same thing. So if I put the drums on. So it'll be slow. Yeah, my sister was at the Great Wall. It'd be funny if you were there at the same time. She was teaching there. So there's that. That's the first one. The other one here is this. 4. And all that is the first one moved over 1/16. All these hits here are just over 1/16 note. So they're almost the same pattern. If you just get rid of that X there and at the beginning and add it to the end, it would be the same as the other pattern. So it's just a matter of moving it around, and that's almost as much of an exercise as anything else. Okay, but before we get there, I'd like you to have some skills that we can use to take that pattern or any pattern to the next level. And there's a lot of tricks, that we can use. I've mentioned them, I've talked about them before, but we really haven't worked on them so much. But one trick would be to hold a chord. Another trick would be to play all 3 of the 16th notes before we get to that 4th 16th. Remember, it's kind of like if you were to count those, it would be like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, and it ultimately adds up to 16. But 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 12, plus 4 is 16. And that's kind of what's happening. That pattern is happening over 16 16th notes. But you're doing groupings of 3. You're squeezing on every third one, and then at the end we have a little left over, and we need to clean that up. So this one here is just when we squeezed on the downbeats. So we went 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's a couple skills we can use to make it a little bit more interesting, and again, ultimately we're going to take that groove and we're going to get to the. Now some of you might be able to do that already, but there are definitely a couple things we can do to make that to give us some options. And then when you combine so I can think of 3 things right off the top of my head. I could do a double hit. All right, so if I hit every one of these on the quarters instead of this, okay, see what I'm doing? Oh, what's your name? The Outlaw from back in the 80s. Oh my gosh. Oh, is Josh here too? Oh, hey, Josh, good morning. Good to see you. So that was just squeezing on just the downbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a lot older than I used to be. Okay, but I can double hit those. So I can squeeze it long enough to get the up as well. Yeah, I'm just releasing the chord. So it's key to use a bar chord for this kind of stuff. All right? Say the song's in G. You wouldn't want to use a open G chord to do this group. You'd want to use a G bar chord. I'm not muting with my right hand at all. I can't do that. My hand's too busy. It's too much going on. All the muting is happening by just lifting the string off the fret. You're not lifting the finger off the string or you get. Now that's cool sounding because it's like, doesn't make any sense. I like it. But it's not right. I'm just lifting the fingers of the strings off the frets. You can just practice by putting your hand on here and go like this. And then squeeze, just tighten it up and hit the chord and let it go. So that's, but yep, total Elvis vibes, Bo Diddley. It's the groove. That's the groove I'm teaching you. This is the Bo Diddley groove, basically. But it goes back before that too. But I mean, Beethoven used it, Bach used it. Believe it or not, not that funky, obviously. Funky Ludwig. But I like the E9 because it's easy to kind of grab and squeeze and mute, but you just basically, and that's this groove right here where I'm squeezing on just the downbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, this is hard. This one is hard. I want you to squeeze it and let it ring, okay? But not hit it. So we're gonna go. So it's gonna be it. See? I'm missing the strings. When I talk about acoustic guitar strumming and playing and you know gigging or whatever, you know, you might be doing some like right there, that. I'm still keeping count with my hand, even though I'm playing whole notes. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. That way, it's really easy to fall back in rhythm. And a lot of times, when you're doing those kind of big stop chords or those whole note chords, or you're breaking the song down into maybe a quieter moment where you just want some strums on the downbeats, if you're not keeping track of where the time is, it's easy to kind of get ahead because it's like, oh, well, this is easy. Well, I can do, and you maybe play the next chord on the and a 4 instead of on 1. You really want to keep your time. So keeping your hand moving and not hitting the strings is actually a real skill. And same thing here. Kind of just bounce your hand. And then we go back to, oh, sorry. So that's what's written here. But if I turn all of those into quarter notes and let them ring, it'll look like this. Oh, Larry, how's it going? Oh, I knew that. When I saw Outlaw, I'm like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't say where you are, where you live. I mean, not that it matters, but I was there for a wedding before I knew you lived there. Or maybe you didn't live there, but at the time, but see, when was that wedding? It was before COVID. It was probably 2018, 2017. And there's a couple really good guitar stores there. In fact, I bought my SG there. It's not your old SG. Did I buy your old SG? It was kind of a mutt, and there's a vintage guitar shop there, and I bought it, and I call it Caitlin because that's whose wedding we were there for. So that's Caitlin. But the daughter of a dear friends of ours. But yeah, you guys have all seen it. It's the only thing original on it, I think, is the neck and the body. The electronics and the tuners, the pickups are all not original. But yeah, it's a cool town. It's a very I like the vibe, of the town. But yeah, Larry's a good guitar player. He was you're still playing. You're still getting out there and playing. I love that. That makes me very happy. Like I think I have a picture of you in my in my awful apartment that I had, or not apartment, but the room I rented. With I think you had a black Les Paul, right? Was it like a custom Les Paul, like gold hardware, if I remember correctly? A groovy secret town, yes. If he wants to say it, he can say it, but I don't want to. So I'm just playing, I'm just squeezing those chords. Okay, so I've got 3 things that we can do. Now, technically I could do 4, but I could do double hits, and that would sound like this. And all I'm doing is I'm squeezing for a little bit longer. The timing on that's a little tough. Let's get with the drum machine here. It's a lot slower. 60 BPM. Hey, Richard, how's it going? So I'm doing a double hit on all of those. Now, if I do that, the funk groove that I want to ultimately get us to, that sounds like this. Okay? If I did a double hit on each of those, it would sound like this. And again, when I'm playing this groove, I'm thinking like, I'm pretending like I'm a horn section. I'm hearing a horn section go, ba 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 bow. Right? That's kind of what it feels like to me. You got the trumpet here, you got the alto here, you got the tenor here, and the baritone here, the trombone. And the bass player is playing down there, whatever. But he's going. Yeah. So, and so because remember we're doing in the ultimate groove, we're doing a 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, right? So we have three hits. We have a hit and then 2 deads. So we can do a double and we can do a triple, but we can't do a quadruple because there's not enough hits. But with this pattern, we could do a double squeeze, a triple squeeze, and a quadruple squeeze. And that would sound like this. A double squeeze. And, oh, here's the other thing. This is where it gets, where you can have a million options. You don't have to do it on every beat. You just do it on one, and it doesn't have to be the first one. It could be the third one or whatever. In other words, like with the funk groove, it's like, let's see. What was I going to do? Yeah, that's it. Ah, shoot. I'm only doing the double hit on the third squeeze. But on this, like I could do it with the second squeeze like this, go. Right? I could do it on the first and third one. That almost sounds like something. I could just do it on the fourth one. That's cool. I like that. But so slowly, that's this. So I'm squeezing for the downstroke and the upstroke, and then releasing the strings from the frets, but keeping my hand on the strings to keep that dead, okay? So that's how you get the scratches. I'm muting the strings, all of the strings. I'm even bringing my thumb around to get that low E string just in case. But the low E string works on this E9 chord. can have fun with the open E string. When Pee Wee at church is doing sound check and playing, he's always playing low E. He's always playing funk stuff in E, so I just have to go like that, and then it sounds like a thing. All right. Any questions here? Are you settling back after being away? To Holly. So Holly, are you settling back after being away? You were away for a little bit. Sorry. Outlaw. Yeah, you helped me a lot with my playing. Yeah, I had a black custom. Now I play in a southern rock band in south of 40 in northern Arizona. Yep, that's exactly where. You're in a town that's not pronounced the way you think it's going to be pronounced. And I don't know. That'll probably give it away. But it was funny. When I went there, I kept saying it wrong. But it's like for the first couple of years I lived in California. I mean, so Larry has known me a really long time. Like, Larry's known me longer than I've known my wife. That's how far back we go. And I think if I'm not mistaken, probably one of the things I try to teach you, and you know, at the point you were taking lessons from me, I was, not that I've ever stopped learning, but I was still learning. And but one of the things I noticed about a lot of musicians, guitar players, that were playing in bands, young guys playing in bands, they would rush. They would get too, like, especially when they were soloing, they would kind of get nervous and they would rush. And if I'm not mistaken, I probably told you just like, kind of try to lay back. One of the things I've realized now, Larry, is that, like, you watch these punk kids that are like 12 years old and they're shredding, and they're like so fast, you're like, I don't even know how you move your fingers and your pick that fast. Or just anybody. I look at any guitar player that's like insanely fast. Not that being fast is the goal. It used to be my goal, but and now that I have a certain amount of speed, I still have it, but not at the max level I once was. Speed is less important than precision, and then of course most important is playing something that people want to hear. But I noticed one of the things that, and is to look bored when you're playing something really hard. Try to look bored. In other words, relax your face, whatever your resting face is. Okay, I'm not going to say the word, but just kind of relax, like, whatever. Yeah, I got this. Well, this is so boring. Ooh. And because your whole body starts to relax when you relax your face. If you clench in your jaw, which I really have a problem with clenching my teeth, when I'm concentrating, believe it or not, I've stopped doing it. I used to grind my teeth when I was, I wouldn't grind my teeth, John, the dentist here, because I don't really have that. My dentist says I'm fine. It is not a lot of grinding. I just clenched them. So I'm not grinding crunch, crunch, crunch. I'm just clenching them. And so my jaw here is really tight. And I'd be like, at the end of the day, I'd be like, oh man. And that was what I was doing when I was concentrating. The E9, yes. How come the fingering? Oh, you know what? You are totally right. Why did I? That's crazy. I didn't even notice that. No one said anything, John. You're 100% right. Let me change that. Oh my gosh. It should be. What a bad teacher I am. I'm such a bad teacher. Bad teacher. There we go. Now it's right. John, you poor thing. Everybody's like been on the wrong fret, and it's like, dang, Tom's out of tune. Bad teacher. All right. John's like, you've been confused for like 20 minutes, and you're like, I just not this. Why is it? So yeah, yeah. This E9. I guess I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't. I'm like, my brain just was off. Maybe I was tuned down a half step. Bad Tom. So, but yeah, trying to relax your face and just act bored. Like, even act bored. Literally, I'm not kidding. Think that you're bored. Like, oh god, whatever. And then you, believe it or not, But if you start to tense up here, you're gonna it's gonna work your way down your body and into your fingers. It's the weirdest thing. It's your continence. That's what the Bible calls it, and it's super duper important. I mean, your continence is really important on how you interact with other people, and whether they trust you or whether they like you. Or I've got a fairly friendly continence. I think people tend to like me right off the bat, or they hate me. I have, it's like I rub people the wrong way. I'm a lot to take, especially in the morning. When I would tour, oh, thank you, Holly. Holly's doing Bruce's job. God bless you. And I threw all of these diagrams up on the Discord, so you can grab them all, download them all, and then put them on a document and print it up or something like that if you want. Totally have, so you have everything on one page. I haven't done anything like that. These are all from my website from back like in 1997 or something, way back when. So we've got double hits. We can do. With this pattern, we could do triple hits, right? But that's a little weird, but I could do one triple hit and maybe one double hit, so it would sound like this. So I did a triple hit on beat 1 and a double hit on beat 3, and then just regular single hits on. But you can see how mathematically we can have so many different combinations. And so when I'm just kind of riffing on the stop. So that's why a lot of guitar players look as if they're not trying on. Exactly. I think that's a big part of it, Dennis. I think it's just to relax their whole body, because your face is going to start, your jaw, your neck, all that's going to translate down your body, and that's just true for anything. Yeah, so I think that's a big part of it. When you see guys that are going, like they're doing something that's super easy, that they've done a million times, they can do in their sleep. But if they're really going to try something difficult, they're going to concentrate more, and that's where you can often get into the problem where you're like, you tense up, and all of a sudden your hand starts to get rigor mortis. Yeah, I mean, I just learned this. This is something I've learned in the last few years, and I'm still in the process of applying it. Not that I'm soloing a lot in public. At church, we have a couple songs that we do that require me to kind of shred. It's funny how many of the urban gospel songs, they have like shredding rock guitar on them. So I'm actually in the gospel stuff, not so much the rock or pop-ish stuff. The gospel stuff is much more likely to have guitar solos in it. So singing, it's definitely true. Yeah. In fact, a lot of the singing, your lessons are all about relaxing, how to hold your mouth and your tongue and your, opening. It's just like, how to breathe, how to stand, all that stuff. Rigor mortis. I named my pet dinosaur Rigor mortis. I had a band in high school called Rigor mortis, my pet dinosaur. All right. You love me, yeah, I know, but on the road, in the morning at 6 a.m. when it feels like 3 a.m, and you're on the East Coast. Yeah, it's exactly right. It does take a while to get there. It's called being in the zone, right? I mean, there are times like when I've been in jazz bands, group, bebop stuff, where I have to solo on every song. And you really, I did a blues band once, and I realized how small my blues vocabulary was. To try to play 20 blues songs and not play the same 5 riffs over and over again, it was really, really hard. But in bebop, it's maybe less noticeable because the songs are all so different. Whereas in blues, it's kind of the blues, 12-bar blues, just different keys, maybe a different feel. So you really do have to kind of come up with an approach for each song so you don't, if you're improvising, so you don't do the same thing. But that's a whole other series of lessons right there. But getting in that zone, it's a magical place. I love being in the zone. And usually it's more likely to happen when you're familiar with the repertoire. If you're not familiar, if I'm sight reading music, yeah, it's unlikely I'm really ever going to get in that zone. Maybe if I look ahead or I know the song a little bit, when I was was it Wednesday? Last Wednesday, I did another show for the TV show Palm Royale that I play guitar on. It got nominated for it got nominated for 11 Emmys. And so, but 2 Emmys for music, one on the theme and one for the score. And so the composer is doing these kind of outreaches to try to get Emmy votes, because LA is where most of the Emmy votes are. So he had a big party on Wednesday, and a lot of the actors from the show were there. It was a lot of fun. And there was we're in East Standard today. Yes, many vibes. Yep. I think. Yeah. No, I tuned. I'm like, now you have me worried. I'm like, well, maybe that is E. Yeah, but if you hit that refresh, then you're going to get an ad. Okay, so now we talked about holding a chord. So if you hit this chord and let it ring, right? If we hit it 4 times on the downbeats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Nothing particularly difficult about that. We could do G major chord, bar chord, right? You hear the pickup? Okay, but if we do that and keep the arm moving, that's a little harder. Try that. 2, I'll go slower. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and nope. Now I'm right. So it's 8 7 8 8. Wait a minute. You're right. What? Okay. Man, what was I doing? What was I? You're right. We were off two frets. Here I thought I was being all intentional on it and everything, and man. And that's out there. People are like, that's not an E9. That's why you were asking if I was in E standard. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm going to start over. I'm going to start all of these lessons over. You're the most patient and chill person on the planet. Is that true? I know what music you like to go to, but what's interesting is that they did a study on like teenage boys that listen to speed metal, and it actually relaxes them. I wonder, it may be kind of similar to me drinking hot coffee on a hot day. I always feel like if I get my insides kind of warmer, then it matches the outside temperature. It doesn't feel so hot. I never feel like it's that hot when I'm outside. I can wear a coat outside in 100-degree weather and I won't sweat because I'm just not. Yeah, thanks, Bob. My gosh. Jeez. No, John, you're correcting me. That's good. That's excellent. I like to know when I'm wrong. I mean, I've been staring at that thing the whole time, and I just kind of did it and threw it up there and wasn't even thinking. I don't know why I thought it was up here. So yeah, that's our E9 chord. Yeah, exactly. I think there's something about metal. It's like the speed stuff. It's like you get all your aggression out maybe in the shows or listening to music, but not even that. They just said listen to the music; it calms them down. So it's weird, but it was true. Um, I don't know what music calms me down. Music doesn't generally calm me down. It's kind of a bit of a curse of being a musician. Is that if I can't go to sleep listening to music because I'll be like, oh, I wonder what kind of guitar that is. Is this an A minor? Boy, that's faster than I remember it. Oh, So I'm not. Ritalin. Oh, yeah. That will calm me down too, right? I don't know what I was. I know that my there was something that the doctors put me on when I was in junior high or something. I wasn't on it for long. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it made me feel. Doctors are quick to prescribe stuff. It's like instead of giving you something like, well, focus on this instead. Stop focusing on yourself. Do some volunteer work. Blah blah blah. It's like it's so quick. Billie Eilish relaxes you. Yeah. Except when she's in the room with me, then it makes me nervous. um, Earworms and sleep don't go well. Yeah, exactly. My cousin would fall asleep listening to music, and whenever I would stay with my cousins, Kent, it would drive me crazy. I'm like, how do you do that? I remember hearing a lot of good music, but it was like it was the '70s, like it was Zeppelin, and I remember Heart, hearing Barracuda and laying there and going, oh, how is he getting that tone? It's like I'm not gonna go to sleep. It was so frustrating. Okay, so some of the tools here, like I said, the double hit, triple hit. Okay. In this case, we could do a quadruple hit. One E and a 2, 3, 4. One E and a 2. And you probably heard something like that. That sounds familiar. It sounds like a groove. You could do it on 2 to 3. So right there, I squeezed all the way from 1 to 2, and it created that sound. Right? Okay, so, but if I do it from 2 to 3, it would sound like this. Let's see. Now, again, the problem with a pattern like that, out of context, without a band, or without chord changes, and that's something you could do. we could utilize these other E9 chords here, John. We could change chords. If you want to keep track of where 1 is, you could change chords every bar. So check this out. So I'm going to play a squeeze on the downbeat here, 1, and then I'm going to hold all the way through 2 to 3, and then I'm going to just hit 4. But then I'm going to change chords. So it sounds like this. And E9 again. Okay, all those E9s. I'm an idiot. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Like twice stupid. This is what I do for a living too. Yeah, it's totally play that funky music, white boy. Something like that. I mean, I learned it when I was in high school, so that's how I played it in high school. Because we did this, I think we did that song in my band, but my disco band. But that is just E9, and then back down to E flat 9 and back up. So, and then he's going. really all I'm doing is getting the top 3 strings on it. You might be just doing that. But that's a great example of this funky, muting, squeezing kind of vibes, funk vibes. Awesome seeing you, kind of seeing you there, Larry. Yeah, always keep learning. God bless you too, buddy. Yeah, guitar players are not good spellers, Holly. Yeah, I'm here every Monday at 9 a.m. Generally, I try to be, unless it's just something comes up or I'm out of town or whatever, or I'm sick. I don't know if I've ever been sick enough. I lost my voice twice in the last couple of weeks because I sang. I haven't sung in a long time, and I got asked to lead worship at an event. I literally just did one song, and the next day I had no voice. It was like literally, it was like nothing. And then like a few days later, I was at a funeral, and they were doing worship, and I was normally when I'm doing worship, I'm on stage, I'm playing guitar, I'm not really singing out loud very much. Although I did sing a little bit yesterday, but I'm not singing into a mic or anything. But at the funeral, we were singing, and the next day, same thing. It's just like my voice is so out of shape. So, so a lot of tricks. Like if I were to do I'll bring the ultimate goal groove here. This is one I would love for us to be able to do. Kind of working our way there. It's so it's this one right here. And it's just one bar long. This is a different, you can see these things I put with the lines down, the dots, those are repeat signs. So just basically repeat the same groove over and over again until you have it. But I could do a hit, I could do a squeeze. So it's like, and so what I'm doing is I'm squeezing on the one and holding it all the way to that of one E and okay? So you can see that's one tool. Now I could do that on the second hit, or on the third hit, or on the fourth hit, or on the fifth hit. Or I could do it on the first and the third, or the first and the fourth, or the second and the fifth, so you can see how you can create a lot of different variation in a groove that's maybe going to go the whole song. It could be a 5-minute song where you I haven't talked about sliding into this thing. But sliding in would be a double hit, kind of, okay? Or you could think of it as a short hold. So check it out. So if I did a double hit on every one of these, okay, well, if I did just on the first one, okay, so the first one is that's the hold. If I did a double hit, it would be this. Again, horns. Wow. Nice. Jan, awesome. So I was just hitting double hit. I could do it on every one of those. It would sound like this. Right? And you probably heard something like that. Ba-da, 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 ba. That's a very common figure. And then I could do a triple hit. And a triple hit would take, if I'm going to squeeze for 3, that's going to take me all the way to the next hit when I'm doing the 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 pattern. The 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 pattern, which is what this is. This would just be over here in there would be just 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, right? 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. But this one here is 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. 3, 3, 3, 3, whatever. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's another way of thinking of it, okay? To me, you're not going to have to think about it ultimately when you get it down. And that's part of the reason why I explain it a lot of different ways. Some of you might get it from going, oh, it's, okay, so 1, 2, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and. Some of you might get it. Now that's probably the least number of people will get it that way. Thinking of all the counting subdivisions. Okay, the 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4. Some of you might get it by going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. The little problem with that one is that you don't really know where 1 is. And you could totally change it so that you could play, you could go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could put that 4 in the middle. You could do it anywhere. There's no rules here as far as how you have to do it. It just has to work with the rest of the band. And if the drummer's playing, you're going to be doing a 16th note feel probably on guitar. I mean, it might be a single note thing. You might be going. And so I'm doing the same pattern. With just a single note. That might be what you want to do for that song. It doesn't have to be a chord. If there's another guitar player or there's just a horn section playing that or whatever, you might want to, just. So we can do the pattern big with the big sweeping, hitting all the strings, or we can do the pattern small too. And I haven't even thought about that, talking about that in this lesson, but we can totally work on that as well, because that's also rhythm playing. A lot of times when I'm playing rhythm, I choose to do one note. Something like that. G chord. Let's see. G sus. What's going on? Subdivisions. Yes. Yes. Great. Is that a Rush album title? I did not know that. We got a lot of Dutch going on right now. So I guess I have to go to Holland again. I don't know. I'm thinking about Switzerland for our next trip. Renting a car, maybe. All right. So the different tricks or the different ways we can change things up. So we have the double hit. We have the triple hit. So by triple, I mean 1, 2, 3, and then remember that's the first. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, like that. It's the first. I'm starting on the first hit, and I'm playing the 2 16th notes in between the first hit and the second hit, which is 3 16th notes away. So it ends up being a triple hit, and it just sounds like. Okay, now if I did it on the second hit, it feels funny to start that E9 chord right here, E9 chord. All these E9 chords. I love these E9 chords. If you're just joining us, I literally, how many lessons have I done on this? I had E9 written wrong. I think the 9 threw me or something. I don't know what it was. When I saw the 9 in the E9, I wrote instead of 76777, I wrote 98999. Then John called me out. I went, "Oh, you're right. It's down a hat." And then I was like, "No, that's F." I wrote it wrong again. And so I don't know. I was like, for all of you who think I'm perfect, you now know the truth. I'm just slightly less than perfect. uh, I do not ski. No, I don't want to break any limbs. And I'm old now. Yeah, I think have I ever skied? I think I cross country skied once and I hated it. I don't really like the cold very much. I mean, I live in LA, so Lake Como, Milan, Lake Garda. Yeah. Um, I, the son of a friend of ours, he and his wife just went to Lake Como. She's like an Instagram, TikTok influencer, and they went to Lake Como and took some great photos and stuff and did a lot of cool stuff. It definitely looks nice. I like to see things. Particularly, I like to see things you can't see in the U.S. For example, like Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, or Eiffel Tower, or St. Paul's or the Tate Museum, or the Louvre, or Sagrada Familia. You know, I like that, but my wife she kind of likes being out in the country and being we were in Edinburgh last year, and we took a train ride out and walked a lot of steps. I think, did we walk 40,000 steps that day? I forget. The train only took us so far, so we had to walk like 4 miles to the castle and 4 miles back or something like that. And we did it, and we get to the castle, and it was closed. It didn't say closed on the. It was like a really old castle, one that's falling down. You know, it was like one of those, and it was falling down, and that's why they didn't let anybody in, because you could be in there and a big giant rock could fall, hit you on the head. Yes, that was the hilarious thing about Amsterdam, was how many bikes there were. Bikes outnumbered cars at least 20 to 1, probably 40 to 1. And I mean, nobody was wearing a helmet. I saw a mom with a little kid in the front, a little kid in the back. They're not wearing a helmet. It's raining, and she's hauling and are going around slick corners, just like leaning in with the kid. I'm like, holy cow, these people know how to ride bikes. And I never saw one accident, not one accident. And we have friends that are, they're both attorneys for the Hague, and at the Hague, and they said, yeah, there's a reason for that. They said it's like if there's an accident, it's always the car's fault, even if the biker hit the car. So you watch the Uber drivers and stuff like that, delivery drivers, they were all like driving like grandmas everywhere. You didn't have anybody driving fast in Amsterdam, at least not in our neighborhood, because our hotel was like 3 doors down from the Anne Frank Museum, Anne Frank House, Anne Frank House, however you say it. So we took that tour. That was heartbreaking. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize that the war ended like 2 weeks before she died, or after she died. Yeah, and you don't really need to drive too much. But Switzerland, if you want to see stuff, you're going to have to train and drive. You're going to have to do both probably. So we're gonna go ahead and the thing about the nice thing about driving is that you don't have to wait for trains. You're on your own schedule. If you want to stay somewhere longer, it's super easy to do. But if you're doing trains everywhere, and you can do a Europass, and if they've got room on a train, then you can just hop on it. But I've yet to drive in Europe. It'll be the first time if we do it. I follow a lot of travel things on Instagram, and then I'll see something will come up and it'd be like, oh, that's a cute town, and I'll find it on the map. And so there's a part of Germany, I think it's is it Bavaria in Germany? It's kind of down by France. It's close to where my grandfather's parents are from, which is Alsace-Lorraine area, which is where what's the town there? I can't think of it offhand, but it's kind of, they speak German. That's the Engel in my name. My mother's maiden name was Engel, and Black Forest. No, I don't know if it's Black Forest. because it's all these cute little towns that look like fairy tale, look like Disney towns. I guess we didn't bomb them. That's why, because was it Munich we leveled and Berlin got leveled, and so like you go to Berlin, there's some old buildings and there's a lot of new buildings, and you know, it's true of any time in history where entire cities got leveled. But I feel like doing little towns like that, that's still not something we would ever see in America. But I'll tell you, we were in the country of France, and it looked like Indiana. We're, you know, the wine country of Italy looks like San Luis Obispo. So I'm like, why do I want to spend $10,000 to fly out, you know, to Italy just to drive around someplace that looks like San Luis Obispo, and nobody speaks English, and they're always charging you they're doubling the price of everything because they know you're an American. So why would I want to do, you know, in the city it's a little bit easier to kind of exist. Rome, enough people spoke English, not so much, but Paris, totally. In London, not so much. So Scotland, not at all. In Edinburgh, nobody spoke English. No, it's funny because they love to say great. That's the thing I noticed about it. In Edinburgh. We took the tour. We did the tour of the Queen's yacht from, you know, Queen Elizabeth's yacht. Excuse me. I just inhaled some spittle. But the Queen's yacht and the old lady that took our ticket, she goes, "Oh, you'll love it. It's great." I said, "It's great, huh?" She goes, "It's great." I'm like, oh my God. I was trying so hard not to make fun of them, but they seem to love it. They just, you know, that's the thing. So, especially the older, you know, the older Scots. I love Scotland. I could totally go again. We didn't really drive around, so we have to go again now to do the driving on the wrong side is a little freaky for me, but I'm willing to give it a try. If it makes me too uncomfortable, I can make Beth drive. Okay, so the tools here for I'm going to just talk about the main funk group that I like to play. You know, double hit, holding it. Now I wouldn't do that, but I might hold it on the first one, right? Or maybe on the second. That's it. Or if I hold on the third. And what I'm doing there is I'm adding that pinky at the 9th fret to make that 9th fret. Better make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, 9th fret to make it an E13 chord. And here's another E13. Here's another. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, the grunge by Led Zeppelin. You're right. You're right. The crunge. Whatever is that? The crunge. Yeah, they always had the weirdest names for some of those songs. Yeah, the Highlands. I know. So the Highland, we'll do it. You know, I realize now that the traffic isn't very bad at all. I mean, until you get to the cities, it's totally doable. I mean, the Uber driver, and what I would do is I'd probably Uber out to like a town just outside of Edinburgh, and from that town, I would rent a car, and then I would be on little roads, and then Uber back, and then we'd stay in Edinburgh a couple days. We had an Airbnb or a VRBO in Edinburgh, and it was fine, totally fine. Great neighborhood. It was not big, but no apartments in England are going to be big. No flats. Okay, so we got double hit, held. We can do a triple hit. So with those three, There was another one that I thought of. What was the other one? Oh, well, I thought about single notes, but what was the other one? Seemed like there was another thing I mentioned. I can't remember now. I got to go back in the video. So what time is it? Oh, it's not that late. Okay. Was I actually early today? And I haven't even looked at the numbers here. Let's see what the numbers. Oh my goodness, we got up to 29. That's like a pretty new recent record. So, so the pattern, and so let me do. We're gonna go back to. I'm gonna put this back to where it was. Okay. Put this back up here. Here is where it goes. Okay, I'm gonna bring this back to the forefront. Make it a little bigger, maybe. So if you're watching on your phone or your laptop, you can kind of see it. All right. And I'm gonna go here. 60 BPM. And we haven't even talked about wah-wah. So like you bring a wah-wah in the mix and now you can do all sorts of different things. You can change the accent. It's crazy. But that's the first one. Now the next one, if I want, I can do that one, and I would be dead on the downbeats, but squeezing on the upbeat. Okay, so try this. Down, up. And remember to let it go. Don't hang on to it. Don't hang on to it, otherwise you'll get like that. I want down, up, down. Oops, sorry. Down, up, down. It's hard to do slow. Okay, so 1, 1, 2, sorry, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So you're squeezing on the 16th note right after the downbeat. The downbeat's the 1, 2, 3, 4. The 16th note after the downbeat is the E of the beat. So it's 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E, 1 E, 2 E. And it may take a while for you to get that. But especially to let it go, to not hold on to it. Like, we can totally do that. That's a total groove. But that's not the thing we're trying to get down. We're trying to just get those pops. The squeeze. 1. And if it's hard for this chord, you could do like a bar chord like this. Like I said, like. Oh, that was the thing I didn't. Yeah, that we could do is the slide up. So like, you know, the double hit. For the double hit, you could do the first, like the, right? You could do E flat 9 and then E9. Bo diddly, right. And that's basically that groove, the more complex one. And like I said, you may learn it using the, you know, the 1E and 2E and 3E and you may learn it going 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, or you may learn it just by hearing it and feeling it. I want you to like have multiple ways to approach. I always approach things in multiple ways, so that because everybody learns differently, and the light bulb goes off with different approaches. And so some of you might just get it right away. Like they'll build it. Oh yeah, you just squeeze it, you know, every third, whatever. You know, you're not even aware. You're just imitating it. That's totally fine. You don't have to understand what you're doing necessarily. I don't understand anything I'm doing. I don't know. I don't know how my heart works. My eyelids blink on their own. You know, I breathe automatically. I do that all day long, and I don't understand it. So it's okay if you figure something out and you're just able to imitate me and you get it. What difference? I don't care. As long as you get it, that's all that matters. The reason I sometimes over-explain things is because I'm thinking about the people that are like, I'm not getting it. Do you mean this, or how does that work, or I'm not understanding, or how do you make it muted and everything? 19 likes. Let me see. I bet it's more than 19 likes. Well, do I have it in here? Oh no, you're right. I have 19 likes. Well, I can't refresh or it'll freeze. I have 18 likes. And 19 viewers right now. So we're actually doing pretty good for the viewers, but I mean, you can obviously use any chord to do this. So like I said, there's a lot of tools we have with the, you know, that reminds me of that. Is that a Chicago tune? They're all variations on that 16th note pattern, and like I said, that 3 over the 4, because again, you count 16th notes in groups of 4. But when you kind of subdivide them into groups of 3, that pattern is so common, you hear it all the time. You'll probably start hearing it now. But Bo Diddley, that's the Bo Diddley pattern. But it, you know, like I said, it's all over the place. Something like it, but anyway, I don't remember. There's some Chicago tune that does something like that. So yeah, we have the double hit, triple hit in this. And then if we're doing this pattern here, we could do quadruple hit. We could do it anywhere. We could put it on 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then we also have the hold. So let's see. Hey Bo Diddley, yeah, or even I Want Candy. I want. But it really does help if you have a bar chord to mute it if you want it muted like that. I've heard it done this way. I've used that pattern before. It's totally legit. I mean, my free range groove, remember that one's like. I'm accenting the 3, 3, 3, 3, 4. It's just, that's all. All right. Let's see what else. So let's try. Okay, let's do this one, and we're going to try to get this one again. We're going to work on that. So let me do it with the click here. We got 60 BPM, pretty slow. we go. One E, two E, and a three E, and a four E, and a one E, and a two E, and a three E, and a, I mean, that's a lot of E's. Now, if we did it on the and of the beat, it would look like, and then thusly sound like. I have it written here. We'll go just a little bit longer, and then I'll take off. I got work I got to do, and this would be like this one here: 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. Like a reggae. We go to A minor. A minor to D minor. And that's a little bit easier because you're not squeezing on an upstroke. It's a lot to get coordinated. But if we moved it to the of the downbeat or the beats, so 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and I could hit the downbeat too. It'd be like this. So I'm doing a double hit starting on the but just the us. So I'm hitting the upstroke right before the kick, snare, kick, snare. Super easy drum groove. Kick, snare, kick, snare. Oh, sorry. So those are the 4 placements, and then we can mix it up. But that 3 plus 3 plus the 3 3 3 3 4 pattern uses all of those placements. Okay, so if we look at that pattern again, let's go like this. Why is it not getting smaller? Okay, here's the one that ultimately we want to like freaking nail. But you look, we're on the downbeat, then we're on the E, of the beat, then we're on the and, then we're on the E of the beat. We literally hit all 4 of the positions on the 16th note, on the down, on the beat. We hit all 4 of them, and then we end on a downbeat. So we have two of the hits are on downbeats, and the rest of them are on the other 3 possible spots. The and, and the E. So it's like 1 E and 2 E, 3 E and 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. So that's what it's a lot going on there. I'm probably over explaining and thus making it a little bit kind of crazy. But anyway, I hope Bruce is having a good time. Probably enjoying the cool weather. I don't know what he's like on the Panhandle or something like Destin, Florida, or something like that. So he's probably enjoying the much cooler temperatures. Oh man. Let's see. All right. What are we looking at here? Well, we're climbing again. We're at 23. How's everyone doing? So, let's see. Yep. So we got a lot of different grooves. And what I did with the main groove is the one I want to get down is I moved it over a 16th note, and that's what these others are. And so if you go to the Discord, you can see all of these, like this one here. So the first one, okay, let me get rid of this for a second. Okay, put it there. This first one here, boom, you can see the first hit is on the downbeat on 1, okay? And then the pattern prevails. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, all right? But on this one, oops, not that one. On this one, oh, okay, wait. Okay, on this one here, the pattern starts on the E. Okay, you see that? So we have one E, is what that one's doing. So we're delaying. All I did was I moved the hits of these all over 1/16. I could have moved just one of these over a 16th. I could do any. You can do anything you want, but that's where you're going to squeeze the chord. On these here, then I moved it over another 16th. Now we start on the and. Sorry, I'm not a weatherman. We start on the and on this one, and it goes to the E, then the downbeat, then the and then to the and again. So whatever we start on, we're going to have that one twice, like we did in the original one. We hit the downbeat twice, but here we're going to start on the so that means we have another at the end. So one E and to and the E, and here's finally we get the downbeat on beat 4. So it's the same pattern, but it just moved over a 16th note to get these different feels. So let me play it so you can hear what it sounds like. The first one, let me put this away. What the heck? Yeah, it's actually faster though, huh? What's that? That's the very first one. Okay. So let me play this one. I can play them all in order. Oh. No, I use Elixir strings, and they want me to, they're not paying me anything now. No. So, but they want me to promote it. I've been with Elixir for a long time. Okay, so if I got, here. That's the first one. The next one is. Okay, now this one here, 3, 4. I like that one. All right, and then the last one. Three, 4. Okay, so anyway, that's hey Joseph, so you just logged in. I'm just getting ready to sign off. I got work I got to get to, but that's kind of. We'll keep working on this. I think I'll probably, and again, with all of these, we got those tricks we can do. We can hold it. We can do a slide into it. And it can happen in any one of these hits. We can move over a note or move it forward or whatever. We can go bump, 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 bump. You can do any rhythm. But I like this rhythm to start with and then to kind of build on it and do a double hit. You can do a hold. You can do a triple hit, that kind of thing. So, all right. Sorry, Joseph. I'm not logging off because you showed up. So don't think that. I've just got to get to work. I got a bunch of stuff I got to do, and kind of that's it. I'll talk to you soon. God bless you, and I will see you next Monday, Lord willing. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.